We Canadians love to talk about the weather, and we've had lots to talk about the last couple of weeks. But you notice how the weather affects us. Excuse me. On a sunny day like this, even though it's so cold, don't we feel a little bit alive, rather than those gloomy days when we don't see the sun and the snow is coming down so hard we can hardly see ahead of us? Yes, the weather does affect us and affects our mood and who we are. Well, I think of that today when we read this gospel about how we are called to be light for the nations and how light has a very positive effect on other people as well as in ourselves. And so the lesson of the gospel today is rather obvious, that we are called to be light for the world, light to one another. I often think when the summer comes and the tomatoes get ripe, and you want to make a tomato sandwich, what would it be without salt on it? Kind of bland, isn't it? And yet, that's what Jesus is saying, that we're supposed to add some type of zest, bring out the best in people by who we are as disciples of the Lord Jesus Christ. And that's quite a thing for us to be. It's so easy to be a gloomy person, it's so easy to be so turned inwardly. But how do we become the light and salt for the world? We probably think we have to do great and marvelous things. But yet it's in the ordinary, everyday affairs, whether it's at work or at home or at school, wherever we are, we can do it in small little ways. I often think of St. Teresa of the Child Jesus, Teresa of Lisieux. She spent, She spent most of her adult life in the convent. She died when she was 24, and so most of that time in the convent, she was sick. But yet she had such a wonderful effect on the other sisters who were there. She did menial jobs in the kitchen, but she did them with such pride and with such joy that she enlightened all those who were burdened by the drudgery of that work. But she was also known to be the patron of missionaries. She wrote letters to all the missionaries because she wanted to be a missionary herself. But yet, she influenced so many different people. And so it's where we are. The old expression, bloom where you are planted, truly comes true for all of us as well. But you know, there's something else about light. In a sense, light adds nothing. You know, if you walk into a dark room and turn the light switch on, nothing changes, the furniture's there. You turn the light off, nothing changes, the furniture's all there. But what the light does is it gives us the ability to see what is ahead of us so that we don't run into the furniture, that we don't stumble and hurt ourselves. So on the one hand, yes, we are called to be proactive and to be light for other people. But I think the other thing that we can do is that we can help other people to shine as well by our attitude. We are called to let them shine as well so that they're light. I don't know, my own experience in life was it's awfully hard to discover your own gifts and your own abilities, especially when you're a young person. How do you know what gifts God has given to you? So often we look at the gifts of other people and sometimes envy them and say, I wish I were like that person. But who's going to help us to learn our gifts and our abilities? So I often think being light to the world also means that we are called to affirm the gifts of other people. It's so easy to criticize. It's so easy to put people down. But how many times do we compliment people? How many times do we thank them? How many times do we say to someone, you know, you did that really, really well? Of course, a lot of us have that, what I call false humility, you know, when someone compliments us, we tend to say, oh, well, you know, we don't believe them half the time. But we've got to start believing people. I always think of other people, especially mentors and grandparents and parents, are mirrors to us so that we can see part of who we are. That way, not only are we a light to the nations, but also we are enabling other people to be the light as well, to affirm their gifts, their abilities, and who they are.